Them good old boys are drinking whiskey and rye, singing this'll be the day that I die.
It's marvellous to hear you singing that live. I mean, it means you have spent...
I've had a lot of practice.
Yeah, you have. And you say that in a rather dry way, because actually you've spent the best part of the last 20 years trying not to play it and trying not to talk about it, because it's sort of...
I don't talk about it, but I would never try not to play it.
Yeah, but it's actually been re-released now, so it's kind of...
Yes, yeah. And it's on the charts now.
Yeah.
It's a hit all over again.
It's hit in at number 45, isn't it?
Yes, it's number 45.
Yeah.
And appealing to a completely different generation.
Well, I don't know about that. I think that the younger generation was discovering it anyway. I have more young teenagers that scream when I sing ballads and Vincent and I Love You So.
Yeah.
It's almost embarrassing. I have arrangements, older than half the audience.
But you see, I think you refer to it sometimes as your sort of personal dinosaur that sort of follows you around, but it sounds there as if it's just been written. I mean, it's not just the way you sing it. I'm
a professional, I'm an entertainer. That's what I do for a living. I wouldn't want to go around flogging something, or I wouldn't do it. I have my pride, and if I didn't deliver these songs with all my heart to the audience, I wouldn't do it anymore. I have certain standards for myself.
Sure.
Absolutely. Your songs mean a great deal to people. There's American Pie, which once heard, never forgotten, seems almost the emblem of a generation, really. Vincent is actually still played every day, I believe, in the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam.
Well, the interesting thing about it is that it's in a time capsule that's under the museum.
It's actually buried in a time capsule.
Yeah, with his brushes and some of his artifacts, some of his belongings.
Yeah,
which is pretty wild for a pop song, to be. They were gonna beam Johnny B. Good out into space, and I think it's almost as good as that.
You've written some beautiful love songs. And some very powerful, almost statements, really. I mean, we will not discuss what American Pie means, because I probably...
I forgot already.
You've forgot already. You've got a new song out, or a new album, Headroom, and you're going to be singing the title track. And we've heard you in rehearsal. Sounds great stuff. It's another statement, it seems. I mean, I've just said it for the first time. About what? About the hypocrisy and the American way? Or?
I'm a traveler. See, I travel around. My whole my existence really has been to travel and to collect ideas from the things that I read, things that I see, and then go around and write songs that reflect a whole diversity of experiences that I've had, both personal and things that I think are public things that perhaps should be talked about. That's why I've been doing that for 20 years. The first album I put out called Tapestry was about the environment, and I wrote a song called Prime Time in the 70s about TV and the ozone layer and things like that, because I'd read about it and I knew what was going to happen down the line. Now people talk about the ozone layer all the time. So that's just what I do.
So what's Headroom about?
Well, Headroom is just about all the things that come down on people's heads these days. I mean, the kids really they've got a lot of reason to go around with a mopey look on their face, wearing black, which they do, because they really have it rough. I mean, they've got all these danger zones everywhere. They can't fall in love. They can't go out to a party. They don't know if somebody's going to come home and do something to them.
They can't fall in love because of AIDS.
Yeah, I know. They can't. There's just so many things that we took for granted that we could do. They have lousy, boring music, I think. It's not going to be any good to them. They're not going to want to hand it down to their kids. I don't think they have much faith in the future. We talked about, being angry about the future, but we had faith enough in it to put ourselves on the line to try to change it. These kids realize they don't have too much to look forward to.
But do you think they see it like that? Because it seems to me, I don't know what it's like in the States, certainly, I mean, there's constant worries in this country that the message about AIDS is actually not getting through, that kids actually just ignore it.
That's even worse.
But do you think they actually feel consciously depressed, or is it just you as an older person?
I don't think you get consciously depressed. I think that's a subconscious thing. I think all this stuff comes in, and and you have a culture that is a depressed kind of a culture. They are very depressed, and I think it shows in every way. Art is a mirror of what's going on. In my day, it was politics. Before that, during the war years, it was romance. People were romantic. Their boys or whatever were going off to war, and they were very, very romantic songs. This is why Sinatra became so popular and people like that, and those songs were written. And what you have is a sort of a dichotomy now, because you have people wanting to just sort of dance the night away to forget everything, and on the other hand, you've got the realities of things sinking in. But it's not entirely bad, because you do have people getting rid of nuclear weapons, and you've got Russians outlawing communism. You've got a lot of things happening that are good.
You made the headlines in this country about a day ago. I don't know if you were quoted accurately or not, but is it so that you feel that John Lennon was murdered as part of a sort of conspiracy because he represented a destabilizing influence in the American way?
What I said, and I believe this, I was asked how I felt about certain rock and roll stars and their deaths, Presley, and then he mentioned John Lennon, and I said that I believed that there was some sort of that it was an assassination rather than just an oddball murdering him. And the reason I believe that is because in all the high-profile assassinations that occurred, the Kennedys, Martin Luther King, and I believe John Lennon, the individual had a diary. He traveled around with money that they don't know where he got. He stalked his individual for a long time with funds that he really didn't have any source for.
But why?
And
why
then quickly the person was put away without a trial, because a trial is a source and a platform of discovery. And so rather than saying, well, everyone who's controversial therefore is in danger of being killed, which in fact to some degree is true, even someone in public life in America is in danger of that. The Lennon sisters' father was assassinated by a fan. But the fact is that in those cases and in some of these other cases, the individual his background is fully known, and there's a real investigation done of the whole thing in the form of a trial. The first one with Kennedy, the assassin was killed, so that the only thing they had was a commission, and the commission was basically to establish what they said happened, which is very implausible, and everybody knows that.
But they were political assassinations. What possible
Well, I think it's quite political.
Could there be?
I felt that he was quite...
Lennon?
Yeah, we had a thing in the United States called the peace movement. And John Lennon, in a strange way, was aligning himself with those political forces which had pretty much gone quiet. He was about to go back into public life again, and he was more political than ever. And it's just my feeling, but basically it's based upon the way it was handled, not on any any kind of facts that I have.
It's not a bit fishy, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's a theory.
It's an interesting theory. Thank you for putting it straight on that.
We'll be hearing you later. You're going to be singing Headroom, the title track from your new album. You're also on tour, 15-date tour starting this week.
In Hackney on Thursday. I
still
haven't been to the Hackney Empire, but I'm going to be there. And I can't wait, actually, having never been there. And then we're going to go to the Royal Festival Hall on the 20th. We'll be in Portsmouth and Manchester, and we'll be in Reading and Guildford and all over the place.
Everybody yelling for American Pie. And others, many others.
Anyway,
thanks
for coming, and we'll
see you
look
later.
forward to hearing at the end of the show.
Thank you.